I'm a New Yorker. Yeah, New York? Nice. I actually got into an argument on the subway, and the guy quoted the Bible at me. That is not fair. Like, if you get to quote from your favorite book, I should be able to quote from my favorite book, right? He was like, men do not live on bread alone, Matthew 4:4. And it's like, everybody's a little bit magic, Harry Potter, chapter 7. It's not a fair fight, right? One of those books is a classic about a man who has sacrificed himself for the good of the world, and the other is the Bible. Do you know what I'm saying, people?
Roseanne, what are your thoughts on Harrison?
Well, I just love you, Harrison. You're fantastic. And you're real brave. I mean, the stuff you're talking about, Bible jokes, that's some brave.
Thank you.
And,
I disagree. I don't think the Bible joke is brave at all. I think if you're going to take on an entire religion, you should maybe know what you're talking about. J.K. Rowling is a Christian, and J.K. Rowling famously said that if you're familiar with the scriptures, you could easily guess the ending of her book.
huh?
Okay.
I don't like it.
You get a lot of attention on Twitter sphere for being open about your religious views. What are they?
I'm a Christian. It's not
Devout?
not stylish to say now.
No, are you devout?
Yeah.
You believe in the Lord?
Yes, I do.
You think you're going somewhere when it ends?
Well, I don't believe it, but what people don't understand about faith is that you have to choose it. You know what I mean? They think that you believe it, but you have to choose it.
So you choose to have faith?
Yes.
That means you believe you're going somewhere. What is faith? But I have faith.
Yeah, the same way that you believe. There's a lot of things I have faith, but I don't really believe in DNA. Like if I was on a jury and a guy was predicted that his DNA was on this cigarette, I go, I don't know what DNA is.
I see. So you don't have faith in that?
No, I don't have faith in science.
Really?
Well, think about it. Haven't scientists always been wrong? Like they used to think the sun went around the earth. Everybody say, hey, that's scientist. Well, he's so smart. We'll give him a white cover.
Other science refuted it.
Right, but back then, everybody at that time thought that guy was smart. Why at this time do we think that the earth goes around the sun?
Did Christ think the world was flat?
Huh?
Did Christ think the world was flat? These are questions I ask.
You know, I tweeted Richard Dawkins, this famous atheist.
Yeah, I know he is.
And, yeah, of course, he just thinks I'm a moron, you know, because he went to Cambridge and I dropped out of high school. But I asked him, I said, you know, why does life insist? And they didn't understand. What's that mean? I'm like, well, it means, I thought he was like smart. So I said, why does life,
I know what you mean,
need to create other life?
Right.
Why do you have to procreate? Why do you have to live?
and fight to stay alive.
Yeah, fight to stay alive and make sure that your genes stay alive. Why do you have to do that? You know, why, if nothing matters, wouldn't the obvious thing to do be go extinct? You know what I mean? To me, that would be the clear and obviously self-evident thing to do. And, you know, in fairness to Richard Dawkins, he said, oh, well, that's a philosophical question that I'll ask my friends and I'll try to get back to you. So it was very nice. But I think it lies at the heart of theology, you know, and people of faith, especially in this town, you know, they'll say, you believe in an invisible man in the sky. And you know, they already throw on you their ideas of what you believe in, you know, although they don't know what you believe, you know. They don't know what you think of as God, you know. But the one question that have always bothered me and always bothers everybody is, how can children die if there's a benevolent God, right? And how can 6 million go through the chimney at Birkenau, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a question that I think I have an answer for. because I think a lot about this kind of stuff. Because I'd really like there to be a God. I don't know at all, but I really would like there to be a God.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sarah Silverman told me, she's like, so you really believe in it? I go, I'm trying, you know. She's like, you believe in an invisible man in the sky? You know, she says it that way. So I'm like, well, whatever, if you want to say it that way. So she's like, well, good luck with that. And I'm like, well, it's a good luck for you, too. You know, it's not like your idea of like being thrown on the ground, having dirt tossed on you is such a beautiful, great idea. You know?
That doesn't bother me.
Dirt thrown on you forever?
I mean, yeah, because I just sort of feel like it's probably just a blissful state of non-existence that I had before. Boy, I'm going to be really, it's going to be a huge bummer if that's not the case.
But if you have a blissful state of non-existence, then you're talking about an afterlife.
Well, okay, blissful is probably the wrong word. I just meant I'm not aware of anything, you know. I think it'd be great if there was something, but if there's not, I think the worst thing would be your consciousness lives on, but there's nothing. So you just feel, you know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, that would be hell.
I suppose.
I mean, Nabokov, I think, was the guy who said, like, he saw a picture of himself. I'm sorry, he saw a picture of his parents. And his parents had his older brother in his arm, and his mother had his older brother in her arms, and his mother and father and his older brother. But he had not been born yet. And he said he felt no grief or terror at that picture.
Sure.
Where he didn't exist.
Right.
So I thought that was very interesting. Like, it's what you're saying, you know,
right.
That why be afraid of not existing? Because it's not really you that dies. It's the world that dies.
Sure.
And you know, everything there is. Everything there is and everything.
I mean, I think it would be fantastic if there was some sort of a transformation of, this is a conservation of emotional energy that, you know, once your emotional energy forms, it can't ever be destroyed, and it just disperses into the universe somehow, and you're a part of this thing that is you can't comprehend now, but once you're there, you'll totally get it.
It's very hard to believe.
But it'd be great if that were listen,
of course, it would be great.
I don't fault anyone.
But here's my answer for the
What's the answer
for the chimneys? Here's what I believe. If there is a God, and if he is good, and if he created the universe and the earth, then an all good being, what can he create? He can't create good, because that would just be expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So all he can create is bad. So he creates bad, and then in a cool twist, the bad that he creates is allowed itself in a godlike way to create good from the bad. Because originally God created good from the bad, then bad from the good, and then he gives man the exact opportunity. So just from a standpoint of logic, which, you know, is what atheists always try to say, I believe that there is an answer for the question of why God allows horrors, and that's what I come up with. But
I also,
you know, I have a rabbi who I talk to a lot. I'm not Jewish.
No, Macdonald's, no.
I was for a year, but he's the guy that knows. You know, he's a scholar. You know, like my pastor doesn't know anything. Like he's just a pleasant guy. And he has,
I don't know. You should probably look that up. What is there? I mean, you know.
I know. If you ask him a direct question, you go, what? Didn't you hear my sermon? And the sermon's always like, you know, how to be a nice fella, you know, or something. You know, it's always nonsense. But this pastor, I phoned this pastor because I try to read the scriptures and study them. Last week I asked this priest, this rabbi. I was saying, like in the Old Testament, they have the Lord's Prayer. And in the Lord's Prayer, he says, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And I said, how could God lead us into temptation? It's without his boundaries. You know, without his fence, God can't do that. If I'm correct about the God of the Old Testament, he cannot. It's not in his nature. You know, the devil can, but not God. So the devil's hard to believe in. Of all the religions, it's hard to say one's worse than the other, you know. But I can say with all belief that there's one religion that's just not true, and that's the Church of Satan. I think it even purports to be not true. Like, it's like, you know, there's a guy that's bigger than me.
Well, I think some of them, I think some of the people who are, and I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but just some of the stuff that I've seen online, I think some people adopt it as kind of a counter, like, okay, well, you guys have that guy over there with the beard, and then we have this guy, and we should all be accepting. It's not just that one, or just like, you know, I think
right.
Sometimes I think it's
but do you really want to have a personal relationship with the devil? A guy, you know, it's the only religion where there's a bigger, stronger guy outside, you know, of the that the Satanists say exists.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But they say we're going to go with the
guy
underdog.
who was, well, because that guy, like, you know, that guy wasn't popular. He got cast out. So like, we're going to be with this guy over here because
maybe that's it. Maybe he's an outlaw.
Yeah, he's kind of an outlaw. Yeah, exactly.
He's definitely the original outlaw. Look, I don't want to say too many good things about the devil. But I guess he was, now that you say it, you know, he was the original.
I hadn't really thought about it before, but I guess now, yeah, he was the original guy who got kicked out of the party. You know, like who doesn't relate to that?
Exactly.
You know, it's like big popular guys having a party, and there's naked people running around. You know, there's snakes and apples. There's a beautiful garden. It's like, yeah, they got kicked out. You know, come on. Everyone knows what that feels like.
It's funny, like, you know, people think that whatever your religion you are, Christian or whatever, that you're so self-righteous, but actually, you know, they feel they're sinners. You know, when I was a Christian, I would sin all the time, and like I ate apples. That's on page 1 of the book. The worst possible thing you could do. And but anyways, I'm right now I'm of no faith. You know,
but you're looking for answers.
Yeah, I'll find something. You know, I'm probably closer to Judaism right now than anything else.